Harry, a prince of an English royal family, just underwent a painful tragedy that no child should ever go through: the burial of his cherished mother. With little left of his family, including his father and brother, he was now heading to Africa. As soon as they got out of the car, the father stood there with his sons at his side. He continued by saying that he had brought the family here to help them better deal with the tragic death of their beloved mother and wife. Harry, on the other hand, was upset with his father for forcing the boys to follow their mother's coffin, and fled toward the fields despite his father shouting at him from a distance. He was remembering every moment he had with his mother as he sobbed in the shade of a tree. He thought back to the time when he and his mother had stolen pastries from the royal feast. Why didn't she just ask for the cakes? He questioned his mother. And weren't they being impolite by taking things without permission? His mother laughed as she replied to her son's innocence. The boy kept hearing her say that being mischievous was acceptable as long as you don't get caught. When he heard his father yell in his direction while he was seated with his neck lowered, he looked up to see a lion standing next to him. His father approached the lion cautiously and fired a shot at the animal's head. However, the youngster pushed his father, sparing the lion's life, who thereafter fled. A young girl named Meghan was playing with her dolls while watching television in a different part of the world. However, she lost her cool when a woman was shown on a program advertising for a dishwashing bar. She rushed to her father, saying that she really didn't understand why women were associated with household work, when she saw her father do the household chores from a very young age. Her father supported her ideals, telling her to be solid in her beliefs and that perhaps she could influence how the rest of the world thinks. That was the moment when his words were imprinted inside Meghan's head. Several years later, Meghan was now an actress in Hollywood, featuring in many films while still keeping her father's words in her mind. She possessed a strong sense of female empowerment, both in the characters she played in the movies and the real life. On the other hand, Harry enjoyed himself in the late-night clubs with his friends. However, unfortunately for him, someone in the club posted his picture from the club on the internet. The following morning, he received a scolding for the same from his father and brother. Harry and Meghan, despite their differences, had one particular thing in common: they were both looking for their significant halves. At her work, her colleagues and close ones were already suggesting her to settle in life, pointing out that she is not getting any younger now. Where Harry also wishes to be with someone who genuinely loves him, like his brother, William found Kate, the love of his life. But soon enough, their wishes were going to come true. Their friends patched the two up on a blind date with each other. Meghan waited for her date for a long time, drinking the wine and fidgeting with her phone. After 40 minutes of waiting, the prince finally arrived at their date, where he got a little scolding from the lady who was waiting for him. They sat down and chatted about all sorts of things, about their lives and profession at first. But as the night passed, they started to open up about their deepest feelings. Meghan mentioned how she always wanted to be the first woman president of the United States, but is still happy with how she came out to be a successful actress. She went on to say that she is glad that her profession allows her to help others in need, and then asked Harry about his dreams. Harry told the lady that he never actually had a choice on what he wished to be. Being a prince came with several responsibilities. However, he also mentioned that he always wanted to serve in the army, and that he always admired the heat and action. They kept talking to each other the whole night when Harry and Meghan came closer for a kiss, but the two were interrupted by the sunlight. Meghan then got up and ready to leave after the wonderful time they spent with each other. Before leaving, she also mentioned that she had 2 dogs, an ex-boyfriend, and an ex-husband too. However, much to her surprise, Harry didn't seem to be bothered by it. She left the bar, waving at him, and the man swiftly left the bar afterward, and went in his car telling his driver about his best date night ever. 3 days after her amazing night, Meghan's mom called her asking about her latest date with the prince. Her mother was very happy for Meghan. However, she also showed concern over her past relationships and asked if she already mentioned her ex-husband to him. Meghan kept telling her that it was only one date and he hasn't called her after that. The very next moment her phone rang. It was Harry. She cut the call with her mom and joined him with excitement. Harry asked her about her day and how she has been for the past few days, followed by the real reason he called her. He asked the girl if she was free the next month considering her tight schedule the current month, to which she agreed. She cut the call, excitedly leaping in her boots after he promised to take her on a memorable date. As he promised the next month, he took Meghan to Africa, where they enjoyed spending their time with many animals and looking at the beautiful landscapes. Meanwhile, in London, William also mentioned to his wife and children about Harry's new date at the lunch table. The couple was actually quite surprised with Harry taking a girl to Africa with him, despite how different their lives were. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan were spending time along with each other, looking at the very place where Harry's father brought him after his mother's unfortunate demise, where they both shared a soft kiss with each other. Harry revealed to Meghan about his mother and how much he loved her, and she mentioned to him about going through her parents' divorce at a young age. Later at his penthouse, Meghan and Harry kept talking about the struggles they faced as a brown girl and a ginger boy. Kissing each other, the lady walked away from him, dropping her robe on the ground, showing her true self to him. She asked him to join him and they spent the night bonding with each other in bed. However, their relationship was still young and had many challenges ahead. Their close friends and families forewarned the two about the future effects of their relations when they returned to their regular lives. Harry told William and Kate about his wonderful experience and bragged about how beautiful Meghan was. But the family members expressed worry about the future of this couple. They added that the two should be prepared for the obstacles as well if they marry in the future. Over at the film sets, Meghan revealed about her relationship with one of her close friends and stylist. She told him how wonderful, cheerful, and gentle Harry was, and how she couldn't resist falling in love with the young man. Here too, her friend warned her about the same troubles they will face socially and in the media if the news got out of hand. Because she was troubled by these ideas, Meghan made the difficult decision to video call Harry the following day and ask him to forget everything that happened between them. She said it was a wonderful experience and a treasured memory, but they should let that be and move on from this point forward. While she was still on call, Harry unexpectedly knocked on her door. When she opened it, he was standing there holding a bouquet of flowers that he gave to her as they continued to kiss. He went there to reassure her that he understood her concerns and that he only wanted them to be happy. He didn't care what other people thought or how the media reacted to their relationship. The few next days Harry spent living in Meghan's house where he played with her dogs and gifted her a bracelet similar to his, as a reminder of their love for each other. The same night Meghan decided to give him a surprise. She called her stylist friend, and they both arranged costumes for the couple so that they don't draw attention at a party. Wearing the costumes, the two went to the costume party, danced, and enjoyed their time. However, a random person recognized Harry when he opened his costume for the drinks. They started arguing with each other when Meghan came to Harry's aid. Noticing the person apologized for his rudeness. However, some people in the club started to click pictures of the couple now that their cover was blown. The following morning, when the couple woke up, their phones were ringing nonstop, and they both left to address the problem on their respective ends. In the palace, Harry's father and the advisors were all very concerned with Meghan and Harry's relationship. They mentioned about the troubles their family and the girl will have to go through for having a marriage in a royal family despite her being a divorcee and an African American by race. They were against the blogs she posted on social matters and claimed that once she is a part of the royal family, she can't have a public opinion, and they will be limited to private life. Although Harry ignored everything his family members said about Meghan, his brother and Kate still insisted on meeting the girl once. Harry agreed to their request, but dashed out of the room in rage, seeing his father having such a racist opinion, and only caring about the pride of the royal family above his own son's happiness, which was with Meghan. Soon Meghan was invited to a royal dinner where she had a small conversation with William and Kate. The couple was actually very much impressed by Meghan's nature and how she kept Harry always cheered up, as they watched Harry playing with the kids. The couple, later on, left Meghan with Bella, claiming that they really liked her and would do everything in their power to help the new couple. Bella, however, had different opinions regarding Meghan and Harry's relationship. She gave Meghan indications throughout the chat to let her know that she did not fit in this environment. She would only cause trouble in her relationship with the royal family because she is opinionated, divorced, and part black. After hearing this, Meghan left the room and stood on the balcony. As soon as Harry saw this, he followed Meghan to the chilly balcony. He asked her if there was a problem, and she replied him telling him that Bella had made it clear that she didn't belong with him and in his world. She went on to tell him about what happened many years ago. When she and her mom were leaving after enjoying their evening, a man in the parking lot misbehaved with her mother. How her mother cried and how powerless she felt at that moment. Hearing this, Harry hugged his beloved, kissing her on the forehead and telling her it will be all right. Later the same night, however, a large group of reporters and media men surrounded Meghan's mother in her car. They followed her to her doorstep shouting that the royal family would never let a black girl become a princess. Her mother struggled to avoid the cameras and finally reached inside her home, shutting all the doors and windows. She called her daughter, who was going through even worse. The people outside her home were trying to break her door and come into her house. They were screaming outside the windows and door. She spent the night in fear, shutting all the doors and windows close. The next day, Harry furiously confronted his family, giving them a note that he wished for them to issue on behalf of the royal family. The note consisted of his message to the people making claims about Meghan's color and violating his girlfriend's privacy and security. His father, however, was not ready to agree to his son's request, claiming that the message was too emotional and it wasn't necessary. To this, Harry furiously replied to his father, threatening him that he will post the message himself on Twitter if the royal family has any issues with it. The father finally had to give in to his son's requests and agreed to it. The next day after the incident at her house, Meghan was contacting all her close relatives, who were being followed by the media because of her. She and her mother sat in front of the television as they talked about Harry. However, the joy soon faded off their faces when they saw the news featuring a letter issued by the palace in London. The following day, Harry came to Meghan's house to talk to her, as he avoided the media men and the reporters standing in front of her house. Entering the house, Meghan's mother warned the young man about her daughter and that she was furious with him. As he entered her room, Meghan stood up from her bed, showing him what the media and the people on Twitter were writing about them. She went on to mention about the letter that he issued on the behalf of the palace. Meghan was furious about what he wrote in the letter, claiming that he could not protect her. She continued that she spent her entire life trying to be a strong woman and not require a man's assistance. To this, Harry finally broke the silence, saying that she knows that he didn't mean it in that way, but the lady would just not listen to him. She asked him to let her be and find someone else, giving him back the bracelet, which was a reminder of their love. He tried talking to her about it, but it was no good, and the woman had already made up her mind. The young man left the house in the car to the airport to leave on his flight. Meghan cried in her room when her mother barged in her room, telling her to come downstairs despite her insisting that she wanted some time. When she came downstairs, her mother made her sit and watch the tape of Harry as a little boy walking behind his mother's coffin, how he was holding it all inside him, grieving in silence. She went on to remind Meghan about Harry's mother, how the media men followed her into a tunnel where she met an accident, and instead of helping her, they took pictures of her while she struggled. Because what happened to his mother was now happening to Meghan. Her mother advised her to once again see the world from his perspective and realize that he is justified in wanting to protect the one woman he loves. When she tried to call him, but he wouldn't answer, the woman realized her blunder and started crying. Before the flight took off, she and her mother hurried to the airport to catch Harry's flight. When she got to the airport, she insisted that Harry, who had already gotten on the plane and was about to take off, be allowed to speak with her. The staff denied every request she made, but Harry heard the radio message they received on the plane mentioning a woman wanting to see him. He got off the plane as he came closer to the woman he loved. She apologized to him for what she said and if it hurt him, and he went on to kiss Meghan, saying she doesn't need to apologize to him, as the couple reunited. The night after, Harry with his family were enjoying themselves at a party ball, celebrating the marriage of Kate's sister Bella. At the party, when Kate and Harry were about to go dance in the ballroom, two old ladies started commenting about Meghan in front of Harry. They continued insulting her that she is a disgrace to the royal bloodline and shouldn't be brought into the palaces, as she does not belong there. Prior to Harry's father deciding to intervene in the debate, Harry and Kate were exchanging angry responses with the elderly ladies. He diffused the issue by explaining to his kids that the women weren't serious about whatever they said because they were drunk. The father asked his son to bring Meghan to the party while keeping an eye on his son, who was still upset about the women who had insulted his love. He reassured his son that as long as Harry was happy, he didn't worry about the royal reputation. After hearing this from his father, Harry dashed to Meghan's apartment, where she was staying, filled with joy. In her room, Meghan was on a call with her mom, assuring her that everything was back to normal between her and Harry, when her phone rang and she picked it up. It was Harry on the phone, but before she could carry on the conversation, Harry swiftly entered her room, asking her to get ready in her dress as they were going to the party. She kissed Harry and got ready for the reception. Soon the couple arrived at the party hand in hand, and Harry finally introduced Meghan to his father and foster mother, who blessed her, saying that they had never seen Harry happier. Meghan then spent her night with Kate, where the two ladies chatted with Bella and her friends, and brought up how hard she had to work for her success as an actor. Bella, however, continued to be against having a woman like Meghan in the royal family, making fun of her age and the fact that she was still childless at the time. Bella was rebuked by Kate for acting in such a way, and as Meghan got up to leave the table, Kate accompanied her to get a drink. Being a commoner in the royal family, Kate remarked on the bar that she had to experience all of these things as well. She went on to say that Meghan shouldn't take offense to whatever Bella said to her, and that the women in the royal family didn't view them as anything more than a baby machine. The mood was, however, improved when Kate hinted to Meghan about her pregnancy, which caused both women to giddily laugh and drink in celebration of Kate's third child that was soon to be born. Bella's words, however, were ringing in Meghan's head. She couldn't stop thinking about what she said about the couple running out of time for having children. The next day, waking up beside him, Meghan asked Harry if he wanted to have children with her. Harry, however, didn't want to rush anything. He said that they will have children soon. Meghan was still very worried about the matter and kept talking to Harry about it during breakfast. But something seemed off with Harry. He was uninterested in talking about anything right now and went off, saying that they will continue this conversation later. Noticing this, Meghan decided to pay William and Kate a visit. Meghan questioned the couple at the palace about any secrets Harry might be keeping from her. William commented that the young man should give himself some alone time because it was the time of year when their mother passed away. In response, Meghan spoke up, offered to assist, and asked as to what she could do to help Harry. William merely gave Meghan the advice to keep the boy busy and away from his sorrow. Following William's advice, Meghan decided to take Harry to Africa, where they helped in constructing houses for the native people in need. A woman in charge there, on the other hand, kept mentioning Harry's mother to the couple and her contributions to their people, also introducing a little girl to them whose parents passed away in the pandemic. The little girl kept reminding Harry about his deceased mother. This was bothering Harry, but the young man kept silent. Noticing this, Meghan asked him to go back to the penthouse. Back in their room, Meghan kept asking the latter what was bothering him and to tell her about his mother. Harry soon lost his cool and started shouting at Meghan that he didn't want to talk about his mother. Meghan still kept pushing the matter. Harry, annoyed with this, ran away from the room with Meghan calling out to him from behind. The young man stopped in his tracks when he saw a lion in front of him once again. Meghan stood behind him, also shivering, grabbing his shoulder as they both watched the lion go back to the woods. Harry started crying, reminded of the time he lost his mother. After which Meghan comforted him as they spent the night together making love to each other. The very next morning, while she was still sleeping, Harry asked Meghan if she would like to marry him. Meghan readily agreed. The next day, Meghan confronted the royal advisor, who questioned her about her origins. He called attention to a number of the family's troublesome individuals and their behavior, including her ex-husband. Despite everything, the counselor assured her that he would handle the problems, while Meghan would live with him in Canada because that is where her job was. Harry was discussing the move with his father. His father was, however, surprised by his son's decision, but Harry cleared his argument, saying it was for himself and not for Meghan. He genuinely wanted to live with his love of life. His family, including his father, were very proud of Harry at that moment. Meghan's friend visited her on the movie set where she was working, bringing his niece with him. Her niece looked up to Meghan and admired her for the work she did, stating she would love to see her as a princess and even requesting her autograph. Meghan's buddy also said that if she becomes a princess, it will be her chance to finally change the way that society views black people. Coming back home to Harry, Meghan told him that she had quit her job and this would be her last season, after which she would completely devote herself to the royal family. At first, Harry was upset that she quit her career for his benefit, but Meghan helped him see what this union meant to millions of oppressed people, that she could only lead by example for the rest of the world if she did this. But there was still one more obstacle in their path. Harry's grandmother, the Queen of England, had to approve the union for the couple to become husband and wife. They both went to see Harry's grandmother the very next day. While she was deeply moved by Meghan, she asked the woman whether she was willing to give up her life for this marriage. Although Meghan said that she was terrified of losing her originality and becoming permanently entangled in royal protocol, her love for Harry outweighed these concerns. Upon hearing this, the Queen greeted the pair with a smile and led them to a photo of an ancestor, claiming it was her favorite. In the portrait, the Queen was portrayed with her original African heritage, unlike the other portraits of the Queen which tried to cover it up. This was the very reason she loved this specific portrait very much. She wished the couple luck at their wedding and gave them her blessing. The same evening, as the couple was discussing their meeting with the Queen, Harry got down to one knee to properly ask Meghan for her hand in marriage. Meghan accepted his proposal and hugged him tightly. The very next day, the couple finally became one, when the Queen announced the wedding of her grandson Harry with Meghan in front of the British officials. After all the trouble and despite their differences, the two were finally together, and most importantly, happy.